Okay, middle school students, we have something really exciting for you. We are planning a competition for you. This is something that you can choose to be involved with. You don't have to. It's not mandatory. It is completely optional. But we're really excited about it, and we think that you'll really enjoy doing this from home, and we're hoping that you will participate. So, what we have for you is a cardboard bridge competition. This is something you can do from home with materials that you can easily get. And this is through Engineering Tech. This is through Engage. This is through Skills. We are going to have activities for you in the future. We're still working out what those might look like, but we are going to release the competition today. We expect this bridge to take a couple of weeks to build. We'll let you have more information as we understand what the rest of the school year is going to look like. The problem that we are defining for you is that you need to build a cardboard bridge that can span a gap of 60 centimeters. So the span of the bridge is going to be 60 centimeters. Now your bridge can be longer than 60 centimeters, but the gap itself is 60 centimeters. Now 60 centimeters is about 24 inches. It's exactly 23.622 inches. Now you want your bridge to be light and strong, okay? The bridge may only be made out of two materials. Those two materials are single corrugated cardboard. There's a picture of single corrugated cardboard down there at the bottom of the page. And you also may use what's called white glue. This is Elmer's glue. Elmer's is a type of brand of white glue. So there's a picture of a bottle of white glue down there. Now, the way we're going to test these is we are going to weigh your bridge. We're going to see how much your bridge weighs, and then we're going to test your bridge until it fails. Your bridge is going to be tested based on bridge points. So we're going to take the load that your bridge was able to hold without breaking, and we're going to divide that by the weight of your bridge. Here, imagine you have a bridge that can hold 100 pounds, all right? And it weighs 10 pounds itself. You're going to get 10 bridge points for that bridge. Now, if you had a bridge that only weighed 5 pounds, it would only have to carry 50 pounds in order to get the same 10 bridge points. So you can see that making your bridge bigger and heavier and stronger may not be to your advantage if it's not efficient. So there's some rules of 10. Your bridge must not be more than 10 centimeters tall. Your bridge may not be more than 10 centimeters wide. The bridge may not be more than 10 centimeters longer than the gap on both sides. So if the gap is 60 centimeters and you're allowed to add 10 centimeters to one end and 10 centimeters to the other end, that means in total, your bridge can be a total of 80 centimeters. Also, your bridge must have a spot on top of the bridge that's 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, or it has to be close if your bridge is a little bit narrower. And this is to put a platform on top of your bridge so that we can set the hook through it, and the platform is going to be what pulls down on your bridge. Now we're going to have a frame that's 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, and your bridge needs to go through the frame in order to be qualified to test. Now, there is also a rule that will allow you to not just sit on top of the table, but to go beneath the top of the table and maybe use the sides of the edge of the table. Here are two pictures that sort of demonstrate how that works. The first picture is the bridge sitting just on top of the table, and you're allowed to be 10 centimeters tall, 10 centimeters wide, and a maximum of 80 centimeters long. The second picture shows going beneath the top of the table 3 centimeters maximum. Okay, now that means that the ends of the bridge can only be 7 centimeters tall, because the bridge's lowest point would be 3 centimeters beneath the top of the table. So the maximum height of the bridge still is 10 centimeters, but at those points where they're sitting on the table, it would only be 7 centimeters. More limitations. You have to have a hole that goes through your bridge. This should be very close to the center of the bridge, and this hole needs to be a 1/2 inch in diameter. The reason for this is we have a hook that goes up through the center of your bridge, and then a nut that goes on top with a platform. So your bridge is actually going to sit with a platform on top, with a hook that goes through the bridge with a nut, and then we hang weights from the hook underneath the bridge. So you need to have a hole like that. Now, this hole, I can put that hole in your bridge for you. What I typically do is take a 1/2 inch drill bit and drill through the bridge. I can't guarantee that that won't hurt some of the structural integrity of your bridge. So it's something you might consider integrating into your design as you build it. But if you don't have a problem with me drilling a hole, I have no problem doing it for you. There are also glue rules. You must follow the glue rules. You're not allowed to take glue and just smear it all over the surface of one piece of cardboard and then smear it all over the other surface and stick them together and have one like Oreo cookie of glue, okay? What you're allowed to do is you can go around the perimeter of one piece and stick it to another, but you can't cover the whole surface. If you are going to butt up a piece of cardboard to another piece of cardboard, what you can do is you can put a glue at that point and connect it like that. But you be very careful that you don't put an entire surface of glue. So a simple rule would be you can put a line of glue, but not a surface of glue. Okay, and you can see the picture there. This is all in the official rules as well. Okay, these are some tips and tricks for you, and some of these we're hoping to have additional activities for you to see in the coming weeks. So we want you to be safe when you do this. If you're going to be using knives to cut the cardboard, we want you to make sure that you're cutting properly. You need to check with your parents before you actually cutting the cardboard. Make sure that they teach you how to properly use it. Don't cut towards yourself, cut away from yourself. Make sure you're using a sharp knife so you're not putting too much effort into it. So this is something you're going to want to do under your parents' supervision. We have no problem at all with your parents helping you with this project. This should be something your entire family can work on. Something you're going to look at also is structural shapes. Look at what shapes bridges are made out of. Look at what shapes are strong. Okay, these structural shapes might help you in building your bridge. You're going to want to keep your bridge symmetrical. If you build one side of your bridge bigger and bulkier than the other side of your bridge, the side that's going to be less strong is going to fail first, and your bridge is likely going to fail before it should have. You want to make sure that you keep your bridge weight to a minimum, because the lighter your bridge is, the more bridge points you can score. So you're going to want to do some research for this. We suggest that you look at a couple of different places. I'm going to show you pictures and slides. You can look online for videos, my teachers' examples. You can see if you can find other examples online of different bridge competitions. You can go to books, magazines. You can ask other students. You can talk to your parents. You can talk to other adults. Maybe you have an uncle who's a structural engineer. Ask them what makes a good bridge. You can search the internet. There are also simulations online that can help you look at what makes a bridge strong. You're probably going to want to do some sketching. These are some pictures that I got off the internet. That's a front view where you can see the tall triangles, and the top view where you can see sort of a truss system. These are some nice sketches. Obviously, this is a very short bridge, but you're going to design something longer, and you're going to want to think about what design you're going to build for your bridge. Experimentation. If I were you, I would start testing out cardboard bridge pieces, small pieces, and see if there's certain shapes that are stronger than others. See if there's a front view design that would work best, if there's a top view design that makes it stronger, where to place supports on your bridge. And maybe a bridge that's completely like a brick is going to be really efficient. Maybe a bridge that's got a lot of open space inside of it, maybe that's going to be really efficient. You'll never know unless you try out some of these ideas. So this is something you might want to try out. Experiment with different bridge designs to see what you come up with. So your final solution, what you actually bring to testing, you're going to want it to be as strong as possible. You're going to want it to be light. You need it to be at least 60 centimeters long. In the past, I've had some students that they designed a bridge that was 60 centimeters long. And if you design it like that, it's just going to slip right through the supports. But it does have to be less than 80 centimeters. You also want to make sure that it's no taller or wider than 10 centimeters. It's got to pass through the frame, which is going to be 10 centimeters through by 10 centimeters. So you make sure that yours is going to go through that just right. You need to have a flat surface on the top so that we can put the platform on it. And it needs to have a 1/2 inch hole going through, straight through the middle of your bridge. Okay. And you want to put your name and your school on it. Now, there's a lot of other things in the rules that are more specific. For example, you're allowed to decorate your bridge, make it, you could use markers or paint to make it look nice. But you're not going to want to add strength to it other than the cardboard and the white glue. All right, so I have some pictures to show you. This is an example of a bridge. This bridge, you can see that it's using the edge of the table, not just the top of the table. Here is the bridge with the hook in it and a platform in it. And as you can see, the weights hang from the bottom of the hook. And you can see how this is working. And in this next picture, I'm going to show you how this bridge broke. It broke right down the middle. So this is something you want to think about. This next bridge also went beneath the top of the table. However, notice that this did it differently. The portion that goes beneath the top of the table does not touch the sides of the table. That might be a good strategy. It might be a bad strategy. Something I want you to think about. This is that bridge with the hook in it, with the platform on it, and weights hung from it. You may notice that this is not failing in the center like the last bridge. This is failing at the ends of the bridge. Do you see how the bridge is starting to fold in on itself on the ends? Where here it was, you can see on one side it's a square with an X through it. In this one, you can see the X is collapsed and now it's like a parallelogram. And here's when the bridge failed. This is more of a brick bridge. This bridge was completely solid. Now, it wasn't very wide, but it was very solid. And this bridge, with some weight on it, And this is when it finally broke. Notice this one also broke in the center of the bridge. This bridge is it's kind of similar to the other brick bridge, but you notice that it's now turned on its side. So when you turn it on its side, it's going to be different structural aspects to it. Notice that it's not failing at the middle either. This is more failing at the ends where it's kind of bowing down. Now, this was an interesting bridge. This student decided that she was going to build a triangle. So if you look down the end of the bridge, you'll actually see a triangle shape, and then there's a structure inside. Kind of an interesting bridge. And you can see this is where we integrated the rule that you need to have a flat surface on top, because we need a flat surface on top so a platform can sit there. So if you design something like this, you're just going to want to build like a sort of a deck for it to sit on. This is with the weights hanging from it. This bridge is very similar to the last bridge. It also had, if you look at down the end of it, there is a triangle shape to it. And this is it with the weight hanging from it. This bridge had a lot of air in it. And if I remember correctly, this student tried his best to use as little glue as possible. This was a lot of pieces were interconnected and locked together. So that was kind of an interesting idea. And we didn't have to drill a hole through this one because there was so much empty air in it. This is that bridge with weights hanging from it. And here's another bridge. Notice that there's a lot less supports in the middle. And the supports that are in the middle are not normal for a traditional bridge. They're more standing up. And you're not seeing as many structural shapes there. This is the bridge I just showed you a minute ago that had interlocking pieces. Notice that you can look right through it. And that's how we were able to put the hook through it without drilling any holes. So there are a lot of things I just shared with you. Feel free to watch this video over. Read the rules carefully. In the future, in the next couple of weeks, expect to see more content from the electives from Engage, Engineering Tech, and Skills for Living. So we're hoping to have a lot of fun with you guys. We'll give you more details on when we eventually test. And thank you for taking a look at this.